Hello everybody and welcome back to another AOR Season 16 highlights video here for round number 13, the Belgium Grand Prix at Spa, which in the past has been a very good track for me. Season 14 I took the win here, and in practice for this one I actually felt pretty confident with my pace, and I felt like it was the best it has been in a little while. So yeah, heading into this pretty confident, but you can see in qualifying it's kind of half and half conditions, half wet, half dry. It's not wet enough to go on the intermediate tyres, but we're on the dry tyres here, and you can see here it's not really conditions I get on too well with. I either like it being full dry or intermediates or wets, not this kind of half and half condition, because you can't really practice in this, so I wasn't really too used to it at all, and it does take me quite a while to get up to speed in these kind of conditions, especially with it whilst running a dry setup as well. So I was struggling a little bit here in qualifying. You would have seen up Eau Rouge, I nearly lost the car as well, so we've got to try and put in a good time. At the moment we're in P10, but that is only after our first run, and we've still got plenty of time left in this session, so we're going to try and improve on this lap, and we're managing to do that so far. But obviously the last few races haven't gone too well for me at all. Silverstone, obviously the glitch I had in the pit lane, which meant I got no points there. Germany being taken out in lap 1, obviously getting no points there as well. So those two races really did put a big dent in my championship, and then that was obviously followed by Hungary, the last round, where I finished a pretty poor P6. It wasn't the worst race in the world, but still, no one wants to finish in P6, so yeah, it wasn't the greatest, but I was hoping for a good result around here, hoping to be near the sharp end and hopefully going to try and get a podium. That was the target around here, but you can see Epic Game has done a 50.0 and we're currently on course to do around a low 51, and I didn't know at all what good times were in these conditions, and I was struggling to get up to speed. But you can see on this lap that I've been quite tentative, and I know I've got a lot more speed in me. So crossing the line now, we do a 51.1, and that actually puts us in P3 there. But you can see now we've got 40 seconds of the session remaining. We're still in P4, so not too bad, and we're going to try and improve on this lap here, which I know we've got plenty of time in us here. So we've got one run, one chance to try and improve, so let's see what we can do here on this lap, going a little bit deep there into La Source. But Eau Rouge, I think we're going to gain quite a bit of time, because on the last lap we did almost lose the car, so if we can gain around maybe a quarter of a second around here, that should be pretty good. So taking it with as much speed as possible, but you can see I've actually invalidated my time there, and it was the slightest cut, but it's enough to invalidate my time, and that meant I couldn't get another lap in, obviously, and P9 it is on the grid, which is quite frustrating. I knew I had a lot more in me, so to start P9, kind of mired in the pack once again, which is not where we want to be. I think I've only been in the top 5 in qualifying once this season, so that's a pretty poor record to have. But you can see away we go here for the Belgium Grand Prix, heading towards turn number 1 here. We're going to take an outside line, going right through the middle of two cars, making a little bit of contact there with Nardi. We've actually gone up into P7 already, and we're going side by side with Danny heading towards Eau Rouge, and this can't really end too well, so we might have to back out of this here. We kind of back out of it, but he kind of goes a little bit wide and almost loses the car into us there, and that's allowed Flores now to go past us. So we're back down into P9, but now we've got the inside line heading towards, I'm not too sure the name of this corner, but if we can get up the inside here, we can get into P7. We're going to try and do that, but he brakes a little bit later than us. I was going a little bit cautious here, I didn't want to get any damage here on lap 1. We've managed to get back past Flores, although our line is pretty compromised through there, and that's allowed Flores to get the cut back, and he goes down the inside here of turn number 8. And is he going to get through? I think he is, and he just about gets through. We tried to hang it around the outside there, but we couldn't. So we gained a position on Nardi, but we lost on to Flores, so we're back down into P9. And yeah, not the greatest start. I did want to try and gain a few positions there, but let's see what we can do here from P9. But just starting so far down like this, my qualifying this season has not been ideal, and it's lost me a lot of points, put me in positions I shouldn't be in, and I knew my race pace again was probably good enough to be in the leading group. So to be down in P9, let's see what we can do from here. At least around here you can overtake, so hopefully we're able to make up a few positions lap by lap, try and pick off cars one by one. But you can see Danny's gone a little bit wide through there, and we look to the inside, and we're going to try and go around the outside here of the corner with No Name. We're not able to do that, and we have to slot in back into P9. Flores has got past Danny, and Flores actually looked pretty quick as well, and he's done a pretty good job. I think he was outside the top 10 in quali, but you can see Danny's gone wide there, and we are now going to go through into P8. If we can hang it around the outside of this pretty quick chicane here, it's going around the outside, 5th gear, and we managed to hold the position there into P8, and now we can hopefully start to close on the group in front. If we can remain within a second of Flores, which we're not right now, but if we can remain within a second of the guys in front, then we can save our ERS whilst being in their slipstream and DRS and everything. You can see Michael, who didn't seem to have too good pace around here, has let Flores go. The championship leader Michael, so I was pretty surprised that he was struggling. But you can see here the power of the slipstream. We should be able to challenge Michael here towards turn number 5, and we're going around the outside here. Can we get the move done? He breaks a little bit later than us, and we almost make a little bit of contact there as I tried to go for the cutback, but Michael manages to stay in front. But as long as we can stay with the group in front, we're in a good position right now, because the power of the slipstream and the DRS around here, you literally cannot pull away, and it's so easy to just sit at the back of a group and save your ERS, and that puts you in a good position. But you can see we've gone around the outside here of the final chicane, and Michael, who actually goes into the pit, so we are now up into P7, and that is the leading group right in front of us. So if we can get onto the back of them, we will be in a good position. But you can see it's 1.7 seconds up in front of Flores, and then I think it's my teammate Dom, and you can see behind we've still got a group of about 3 or 4 cars who are going to have the slipstream and DRS on me, so it's going to be difficult to pull away from them. And you can see here on lap 5 already we're not in the greatest situation with the ERS, purely because, yeah, if I went any lower right now I'm probably going to be under threat of being passed, so we've got to be careful here. And you can just see how much they're closing on me, and that's not to do with their downforce that they have or anything. That's just the power of the slipstream and the DRS around here, and it's ridiculous really, because you cannot pull away. It's literally impossible. As we make a little, well, that wasn't really a mistake, that's just that curb on this game is absolutely horrible. You can't take too much of it, else you will get a bit of oversteer. But yeah, we're going to try and get on the group in front. You can see I'm saving my ERS around this middle sector, but it's just so hard to pull away, and I was hoping the guys behind would just sit behind me and not battle, because I think we have the pace to close on the group in front. But you can see I've gone a little bit wide there, and I almost lose the car into the wall, and that was a good save, but that's lost us a lot of time here. And now Danny is going around the outside here of the chicane. He's going to try and do the move that we did to him earlier, but he's not able to get the move done, and we've just about stayed in front of him and Tim Palm as well, but that's lost us a heap of time, and now we're under even more pressure from the cars behind. You can see that's lost us a second to Flores, so that is not good news for us in this race at all. Still not in a good situation with ERS as well, and we've got Danny and Tim Palmer. I think it's Clarkey after him, who are right on the back of us, and in fact Danny's going to go for a move into the chicane on this lap here, so he's braking a little bit later than us, and he goes around the outside, he squeezes us towards the apex, and now he goes into the pits, cuts right across in front of us, and we make a little bit of contact, and that's cost us 2 positions there. So a very scruffy lap from us, a lot of it not my fault apart from the mistake. Yeah, it was a very good save, but still it was far too close to going in the wall. We were lucky not to crash, but yeah, that enabled the group behind to challenge us and get through. So you can see now onto lap 7. My ideal time would have been to pit on lap 6, but I had to continue another lap because Dom pitted on lap 6, so I couldn't go in on that lap, so I stayed out an extra lap, which is probably going to mean we're going to be undercut here on this lap, which is more bad news for us in this race. And this is all due to our qualifying really and being mired down in the pack, because now you can see the leading group are quite far in front. There's a lot of cars who started outside the top 10 and they're yet to pit, but Michael's managed to undercut us there, and I think Danny is going to do the same as well. He's just about going to be in front of us, but that's alright, we can sit behind him whilst our tyres warm up. But the group, well, the leading group is so far in front, and already our chances of a podium are pretty much out the window. So again, it's damage limitation. I'm not really in the fight for the championship anymore after the difficult last 3 races that we've had. I think the gap to the leaders is 55 points, which with my A levels and everything else, it's very unrealistic that I'm going to be able to fight for the championship, because with that kind of gap, and also the fact that I have such a lack of time to put in the hours on this game to be fully prepared for each race, it's highly unlikely that I'll be in the championship fight. But I'm not going to give up. It's not over till it's over, but still, I mean, I'm still going to try and get just the highest result I can possible this season, and as long as I can just give it my all, then that's all I can do really with everything else. But you would have seen there I've got a 3-second time penalty, the first one of the race, so that's more bad news for this race as well. It's pretty disappointing again when I know I've probably got the pace to be up with the leaders, but Right now we're at the back of the group we were at the front of earlier. I think, actually I'm not too sure who's at the front. I think it's Michael of this little group, and yeah, it is Michael. And then we've got Clarky, Danny and myself here on lap 13, but you can see Danny and Clarky, they're going side by side in front. Danny's actually gone down the inside here at the final chicane, so they're going side by side, and we're going to maybe try and pick up the pieces here. Clarky pitted for softs, which was pretty surprising, and they're highly unlikely to get to the end. He's only going to be quick for a certain amount of laps before the mediums start to be the better tyre, and I think now already Clarky's starting to struggle, so he's going to definitely struggle to make it to the end of the race, so we need to clear him as quickly as possible. And we're actually down in P11 with only a couple more cars who are yet to pit, so low points is not where we want to be. So let's see what we can do. If we can get to the front of this group, then maybe we can catch the leaders, but who knows. I think it's pretty unlikely that we're going to be able to do that, but being at the back of this group gives us the opportunity to save a bit of ERS there as Clarky goes wide, and now Danny makes more contact with him. We go through on Clarky into P10, so we've managed to get that move done, and I was hoping we could clear Danny as well and then pass Michael, who, yeah, I was pretty surprised on Michael's pace around here, because I thought he'd be fighting the leaders, especially considering the fact he's the championship leader. We're currently down in P5 in the standings, 1 point ahead of Williams Alex, as we now go for a move there on Danny into P8. But as I was saying, the top three in the championship, Michael, Lucas and Deagle as well, they're all starting to break away from myself, Dom and Alex in the championship. So yeah, there's quite a bit of a gap. It was a six-way fight for the championship before Silverstone, well actually before Germany, but recently the top three have started to pull away from the rest. But you can see getting past Danny there, and that's now enabled us to catch up to Michael pretty quickly, and within a lap I'm already within, well, nearly within half a second of him, so we should be able to maybe set up a move on this lap on the championship leader Michael, and then I think after that is Dom, my teammate, and then yeah, he's in P6, so if we can finish 6th that won't be too bad, but obviously it's not where we want to be. And you can see how much speed we have there up Eau Rouge, and now we've got the slipstream, we've got the DRS, ERS and overtake as well, fuel and rich, and we're able to get through into P7 pretty easily there on Michael, who I think was also focusing on his championship. Yeah, but he was definitely thinking about damage limitation here as well, because he was having a tough race. And you can see Dom in front of me, we're closing on him pretty quickly. He's actually made a mistake then, he's gone into the wall and he's out of the race, and we are now up into P6, and I thought that might bring out the safety car, because that was a pretty hefty impact into the wall there, but it didn't. And it seems like the safety car in this game is pretty rare. We've only had one this season, so yeah, pretty surprised about that. But P6 it is now, and if we can close on Williams Alex, who I think temporarily led the race earlier on, that would be good. But you can see Tim Palm on super soft tyres now. We're just going to let him go because he's quicker than us, and I was hoping with the power of the slipstream, if we can stick to the back of him, then he should be able to drag us up towards Williams Alex, and then we can try and get Tim Palm later on in the race when his tyres start to wear out quite a bit, because the super softs only really last about 8 laps, so he's going to struggle, because he's been on them for about 3 or 4 by now anyway, so he's going to struggle more towards the end of the race. So if we can stick with him, then that would be good. And you can see now moving on to lap 18, we actually cut the chicane there, and we get our second 3-second time penalty, which now means 6 seconds worth of time penalties in this race, which isn't great, and I shouldn't be making these kind of mistakes, but it's kind of desperation when you're this low down. But you can see here into the final chicane, we fair enough cut the corner, but that should have been a warning instead of a 5-second penalty. I don't know why the game gave me a 5-second stop go penalty for that, when it should just be another warning, because I had obviously the 2 3-second time penalties before that, and then that should have been another warning, but not obviously a penalty. But instead the game gave me a 5-second penalty, which makes no sense whatsoever. And I had that before, he's in season 14 I think it was, around Spain, where it should have given me a warning, but for some reason it gave me a 10-second time penalty. So I don't really understand the penalty system on this game. But you can see now we're able to get back past Tim Palm and back up into P6. So at this stage I was just forgetting about that penalty that we just got, because I've taken it to the stewards anyway, and hopefully it will be removed, because it's really unfair. Yeah, the penalty system on this game is an absolute joke. But you can see here on the final lap of the race, it started to rain, and we actually caught up slowly to the 2 cars in front of Williams Alex and Flores. Our pace was actually really decent, but we're going to cross the line in P6. I'm going to add, well obviously it's going to add 6 seconds to my race time, and then I was just forgetting about those 5 seconds which I got at the end there. That puts me in P9, even though it should be P7 if I get that penalty removed. So 6 points, another average race, not great to be honest, but hopefully next round at Italy we can have a good result there and start getting back towards the sharp end, which is where hopefully I can be in the coming races. So thank you very much for watching, hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you very soon. Goodbye.